Here's your First Warn Weather forecast first, sponsored by Anderson Collision Center. Visit driveanderson.com.
Well, it has just been an absolutely gorgeous Thursday afternoon as temperatures once again climbing into those mid and upper 60s. We're at 67 right now in Rockford, 68 in Freeport and Rochelle. You're at that 70-degree mark in Sterling, and 65 currently out in DeKalb. It has been very comfortable and plenty of sunshine, although filtered out by a little bit of haze throughout the afternoon. Things are quiet and they'll stay relatively quiet through the night, but we continue to watch out to the west as our next storm system moves in. That will bring a whole lot to talk about getting into the afternoon and evening on Friday. But for the rest of this evening, just a beautiful evening. Temperatures will drop down into the 40s, warming, I should say, into the 70s for tomorrow afternoon. But it does come with a fair amount of wind and that storm potential tomorrow night. Timing that out in the First Warn forecast a little later.
A state line official faces criminal theft charges. The accusations against a Boone County board member.
Plus, a push to hire educators here in the state line, how Harlem School District working to address teacher vacancies.
And a resource center for seniors launches an educational series, how the new Lunch and Learn events can help area residents.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Wendell Edwards. We thank you for being here. We will get to those stories tonight in just a moment, but first, breaking news out of Collins Aerospace.
The company announced staff layoffs just moments ago. Collins issued a statement on the matter saying, quote, "To ensure we are best positioned to address our customers' greatest needs now and into the future, we are taking actions to reduce costs and optimize our organizational structure globally. This includes conducting a small reduction of positions. These actions will allow us to reinvest in high-priority programs, reduce complexity, and increase efficiency to better meet the strong demand for aerospace products." We will bring you more information on this developing story as we get it.
We can expect strong winds over the next few days.
Well, let's head back over to Candace for more on that and our storm chances. Candace, what do we need to know?
Yeah, guys, those winds are just part of the story of what we can expect going into the afternoon and evening tomorrow, and then definitely by Saturday. So we're first going to talk about that wind and then our storm potential. So winds are fairly light out there this evening, but getting into the afternoon tomorrow, a wind advisory will go into effect for all of northern Illinois, as winds during the afternoon from the southeast could gust as high as 45 miles per hour, increasing Friday evening 50 to 55. So that's the one thing we have to be concerned with tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Along with that, a fire weather watch has been issued for northern Illinois, as low relative humidity, those warm temperatures and the strong winds could potentially increase that fire risk. No outdoor burning tomorrow. Then getting into Saturday, we've got a high wind watch for a portion of northern Illinois, as winds could gust as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour during the first half of our Saturday. So let's break down that wind potential. Notice already tomorrow morning those winds increasing. There are those 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts. They'll increase as we head into Friday evening and then increase even further once we get into the first half of our Saturday. These are non-thunderstorm winds, so even in themselves on Saturday could produce some damaging wind potential. Temperatures then drop by the end of the week, so we'll have that. And then our storm chances too going into Friday night. That's coming up in the full forecast a little later.
A lot going on. All right, thanks, Candace.
Tonight at 5, a Boone County board member is accused of stealing money from a church.
77-year-old Marion Thornberry is charged with theft of less than $500 from a house of worship. He was in court this afternoon. The Republicans represented Boone County's 3rd district since 2022. County Board Chairman Carl Johnson commented on Thornberry's charges today, in which he stressed that these charges are not related to Mr. Thornberry's role as a county board member. Board members do not have access to any county funds, and the county's worked hard over the years to implement policies that help ensure that county funds are protected.
Tonight, a Stephenson County educator is indicted on federal child porn charges. Police arrested 39-year-old Colin Zier, a music teacher at Orangeville Elementary School, in September. He has been on administrative leave since. On Tuesday, a federal grand jury indicted Zier on charges of producing child pornography, transporting child porn, receiving child porn, and possession of child pornography. If convicted, he faces up to 60 years in prison.
A former longtime Winnebago County sheriff has passed away. The sheriff's office issued a statement announcing the death of Dick Myers on social media today. Myers began his career in law enforcement in 1967 and served as Winnebago County Sheriff for 17 years until his retirement in 2014. Myers was 78 years old. A push to fill open teaching positions in Illinois is working, but what about right here in the state line? That
is what Eyewitness News reporter Tyler Sorensen talked about with some local district administrators. Tyler, where did you go and what did you learn?
Mimi, Wendell, I learned that the Harlem School District has an uptick of applications for people to teach, and that they're hoping that number continues to grow for many years to come. This comes in after a big push in recruitment, with administrators telling me that this applicant pool was the biggest they have had in over 4 years. The district is also focusing on the dialogue around teaching, trying to make education something students could consider choosing for a career.
We need our young students in high school, middle school, to consider this as a career option and an option that is fulfilling and joyful. And so, we need to do our part to make sure that, our kids that are going through our system see this as a viable option for them.
Even with the increase in applications, Harlem School District says there is still a shortage, especially with bus drivers and custodians. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Tyler. A state-of-the-art medical lab is unveiled at OSF St. Anthony today.
The renewed or renovated cardiac catheterization lab was revealed this morning. To commemorate the opening, a priest, you can see here, officially blessed the space. OSF says the lab is for diagnosing and treating cardiovascular conditions. This includes testing the flow of arteries and monitoring heart health. One official says this space will help more than just those in the state line, but those beyond it too.
We get a lot of patients throughout the region that come from pretty far away for cardiac care. We're well known for being a very comprehensive cardiac program. And so getting those patients in here with the best equipment treats them the best that we can for the best outcomes.
Those renovations to that space took nearly 2 years to complete.
Community members are honored for their service to the state line. The Rotary Club of Rockford awarded the Service Above Self Award to 4 people during the event today. The ceremony was held at Veterans Memorial Hall. The honorees are Ted O'Donnell with the 4th of July Committee, Susan Fumo with Rockford Promise, Becky Rundquist with the Rotary Club, and John Spitzer from Alpine Kiwanis. Spitzer says giving back is an important part of his life.
Life is more than just doing for yourself. It's good to give back to the community. The community's been good to us, and we like to make sure that it continues on. And there's a lot of need for help in volunteering activities in the organizations of many organizations within the community.
We'll hear from another one of today's winners coming up tonight at 6.
The Senior Resource Center in Freeport announcing tonight a new series of monthly educational events. They're called the Lunch and Learn series, and they're designed to provide older adults with valuable information to help keep them safe. So each month, the series will educate visitors on different topics, with today's event covering fire safety. One fire chief says it's important to take steps to protect yourself as you get older.
As we age, it is important that we stress to people how they can be safe in their own homes from fire, from the presence of CO by use of detectors in both, helping them to understand that smoke detectors now have 10-year batteries, and if they haven't changed them out in a long time, now's the time to make the upgrade.
Those interested can register in advance by contacting the Senior Center.
The White House continues to push for a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine.
When we return, Russia's response to the possibility of an agreement to stop the fight.
And tonight at 6, the grand opening of a new space for a familiar storefront, the second location for Carpenter's Corner.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team, with Mimi Murphy, Wendell Edwards, Sports Director Scott Lever, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
President Trump hosted the head of NATO at the White House today as his special envoy traveled to Russia to meet with President Putin on a ceasefire deal. This is the second face-to-face meeting between Putin and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff.
Jesse Tenura reports on the latest efforts to end Russia's war with Ukraine.
Things are going okay in Russia.
President Trump's special envoy is in Russia pressuring President Putin himself to accept the 30-day ceasefire agreement Ukraine already supports.
We're going to see whether or not Russia's there, and if they're not, it'll be a very disappointing moment for the world.
President Putin says he agrees in principle with the ceasefire proposal, but the terms still need working out.
He put out a very promising statement, but it wasn't complete. And yeah, I'd love to meet with him or talk to him, but we have to get it over with fast.
President Trump says it should already be clear to both Russia and Ukraine on what will end the war.
Who's going to get the power plant and who's going to get this and that?
President Trump would not say what leverage he potentially has over Putin, but Congress is also trying its hand at the art of the deal here.
I'm very skeptical of Putin wanting peace or accepting a ceasefire. Time will tell.
To try to up the pressure, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham is pushing legislation to impose sanctions against Russia and tariffs on any country that buys Russian oil, gas, uranium, or other products.
Does the White House support that? I don't know yet. I know that it'll be an overwhelming vote in the Senate.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Well, despite the spring-like conditions today, we could be getting some severe weather heading into the weekend.
Candace will have details on this in her full forecast straight ahead.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Just a gorgeous afternoon as temperatures today made it into the mid and upper 60s. Lots of sunshine as we've held on to that southeasterly wind. But you look a little further down to the south across central and southern Illinois, those temperatures in the 70s and 80 degrees right now in St. Louis. That air mass moves in our direction during the afternoon tomorrow. So that is a plus. The downside to that, however, the wind will significantly increase during the afternoon and evening. So it won't be the best of days to get out and really enjoy that mid to upper 70 warmth. Our winds this afternoon lighter from the southeast and east, anywhere from 5 to 15 miles per hour. Winds will stay light tonight as that warm front continues to pass to the north. Still at 70 in Sterling, 67 in Rockford, 68 in Rochelle and Freeport, and 64 right now in Janesville. Our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa, 66 degrees with a southeasterly wind at 10 miles per hour. That dew point temperature at 37. Those dew point numbers go up with the arrival of that warm front tonight, so that'll take our clear sky that we see all across the region and fill it back in with a little bit of cloud cover. What you may have noticed, however, a little more haze in some of the skies here throughout this afternoon and evening. As we go through this evening, no issues weather-wise. So if you've got some plans to be outdoors, take advantage of it. It's almost the calm before the storm, and the wind literally, as we have both of those chances increasing throughout the afternoon. Tomorrow, that is all tied in to this storm system now moving on shore across the southwest. That deep trough of low pressure, or that dip in the jet stream, allows an area of low pressure to quickly develop during the day tomorrow. So let's go through this because there's a lot to talk about. No issues out there tonight. Here's that cloud cover 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. With the clouds and a small increase in that moisture, there's a slight chance that we could see an isolated shower or two very early on Friday, maybe even a rumble of thunder, but I think that is focused a little more to the north and northwest. We've got some cloud cover to start us off with tomorrow morning, but as that front continues to move into Wisconsin, that will help clear out our skies, and then it's dry conditions, mostly sunny as we head into Friday afternoon. Look at these temperatures in the 70s, but as I mentioned, that comes with about a 45-mile-per-hour wind gust during the afternoon, increasing tomorrow evening. Now let's talk about tomorrow night. Thunderstorms are expected to quickly develop from Iowa to Missouri. Once we get into the late afternoon and evening hours, quickly racing to the east and northeast. As they do, they could maintain and hold their strength as they cross over the Mississippi River, which would pose that risk for some severe damaging winds for us as we head closer to that 9, 10, 11 o'clock hour tomorrow evening. So this is a late evening threat for that severe thunderstorm. However, again, instability and moisture still the question marks going into tomorrow, but as I've mentioned all week, the winds aloft may be able to overcome some of that and allow at least some isolated instances of some strong to locally damaging winds getting into Friday evening. And if that line holds together just enough and we still have that instability, an isolated tornado threat is there. I think that's on the lower side, but definitely not out of the question. Behind that, winds will significantly pick up going into Saturday, where 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible. That would take us into the early afternoon. I know we've got a couple of St. Patrick's Day parades that'll be taking place. It'll be very windy for those. 76 on Friday, 59 on Saturday. There's a drop in temperatures on Sunday. We briefly warm into next week before numbers drop again by the end of next week.
Candace, thank you.
Scott's next with sports.
The state line has another basketball team playing for a state championship this weekend.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
The magical postseason run by the Eastland boys basketball team is not over. The Cougars got another big W today in Champaign in the IHSA boys 1A state tournament. They ran away from Peoria Christian in their semifinal game. The Cougars pounded the ball inside. We're going to see it here as they go inside to Parker Krogman. What a game he had. More on that in a moment. Then Peyton Spears gets the ball out front. He drives and scores. He had 8 points, 8 assists, and 6 rebounds. Adam Allwinder goes right back to Krogman inside. He scores again. Then watch Spears fire the deep pass to Allwinder. Allwinder scored 17 points. All this happening in the second quarter when Eastland scored Peoria Christian 17-4. More Krogman in the second half. He made 9 of 10 shots from the field. He scored 21 points. Eastland goes on to win this one 55-35.
Credit to the team, for finding the hot guys. That's kind of the way the matchups went today. They've been lights out for us all year.
Settling in, making it to state, I think everyone dreams of that as a kid in any sport. And, actually to be playing in the state game now, it's a dream come true.
It feels amazing, with our history and kind of with our fourth place finishes, we knew this was our opportunity to kind of make Eastern basketball history.
It feels great. I feel like the whole team, we've seen all the comments and people saying stuff that we shouldn't be here, but I feel like by our performance today, it showed that we deserve to be here.
So the Cougars will next take the court Saturday at 1 o'clock in the 1A state championship game. Eastland has never won a state championship in boys basketball. They have finished 4th twice. Their opponent Saturday will be Chicago Hope. Hope beat Effingham St. Anthony in the other semifinal 56-50. Chicago Hope is coached by former Rockford Lutheran Lightning great Ronnie Fields. All right, the Fighting Illini are about to tip off Big Ten tournament action in Indianapolis. They're playing Iowa. Earlier today, the Badgers defeated Northwestern 70-63. The Badgers will play UCLA tomorrow. Oregon defeated Indiana 72-59. Oregon will play Michigan State tomorrow. That's sports. We'll be right back.
Our first WARN Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Glass and More. Stays pretty quiet out there tonight. Nice and clear, too. Temperatures in the 40s overnight, 76 and windy tomorrow. Some stronger thunderstorms possible Friday night.
Thank you, Candace.
And thanks for watching. We'll see you again at 6.